Costume Quest 2 was released in 2014 for the PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and Wii U. What you're seeing on screen at the moment is the PlayStation 4 version of the game. Costume Quest 2 is a role-playing game developed by Midnight City and Double Fine, and the game was published by Midnight City and Majesto Entertainment, and is a follow-up to 2010's Costume Quest, and takes place directly after the events of it. So let's find out if this game lives up to the Double Fine standard of its original in today's review. In Costume Quest 2, you can either play as Ren or Reynold, or however the hell you pronounce that. But honestly, if you play as Reynold, you're simply playing the game wrong. Pro tips, just keep him as the best costume, the candy corn, and main Ren. Anyways, story-wise, Costume Quest 2, the 2 implying there was a first game, obviously follows up from the first game as you stand in the rift between dimensions after defeating the witch and then later saving Christmas in the DLC. You then choose your character by having one of them select said character to go first into a random portal. After picking Ren, like you obviously should, you appear back on your old street and, big surprise, it's Halloween again. And before I can even go say hi to my parents, I walked down the street and met some random dentist who then suddenly plotted the evil plot to ruin Halloween and save teeth everywhere. And you know what that means. It's off to save the day with our costumes and such once again. So you jump into the time portal after him, only to end up in a horrifying Halloween-less future ruled by a dentist. We obviously can't let that be a thing, so it's time to travel around time and dimensions and stop him. So let's discuss the good. Overall, gameplay-wise, Costume Quest 2 is your typical turn-based RPG and is extremely easy to get into and fairly fun at the same time. You simply select your move and do a quick time event to see how effective it will be on your enemies. Unless you're a candy corn, it simply chooses not to fight. You can also do a QTE to defend, and later on you can also learn to follow up with an additional attack or even a counter on your enemies. And speaking of candy corn, you also have a number of different costumes and abilities at your disposal that'll unlock each with their own weaknesses and advantages, as well as a special move. Some costumes even have abilities outside of combat that let you either honk a horn, turn into a ghost to go through certain objects, and other puzzle solving related things. And overall, the puzzle solving in this game consists of unlocking a costume that does a certain ability to let you progress further, or something quest related. And for the most part, it's easy to figure out and it's still fun. But I had a few times where I wandered around for a good half hour wondering what do I do next. But easily the best thing about Costume Quest 2 is the humor. Considering this is a Double Fine game, I went in expecting some decent humor, quirky characters, and an overall fun attitude in game, and I wasn't disappointed. If you're into some lighthearted humor, chances are Double Fine games are right up your alley. And overall, for $15, I thought this was a fairly decent lengthy game, personally for me clocking in at around 10 to 12 hours, which I thought was a bit surprising considering I beat the first game in an afternoon. So you do get a bang for your buck, and if you have any kids or anything like that, this game is obviously extremely family friendly and easy to pick up and play, all while having some decent humor for all ages. But not even candy corn can prevent the bad. This section will be fairly short because for the most part, I really enjoyed this game. Probably the only thing I have an issue with in Costume Quest 2 is the combat can become a bit tedious and dull after a while. especially in some of the more grindy areas of the game. And for the most part, this game is extremely easy. To demonstrate this, I've been playing the Hardcore Challenge the whole game, which is basically using the best costume, Candy Corn, in every fight, like you should unless you're some kind of gigantic pleb. And I've still had very few problems or any challenge at all for the most part. So let's discuss the ugly, where I discuss graphics and such. Probably my favorite thing aesthetically about Costume Quest 2 is simply the art style and general presentation of it all. From the cute characters, to the eyes, to the little talk boxes when the characters are speaking, it's all really well done, and really stands out well in 1080p on the PlayStation 4 version of the game. But honestly, if next-gen systems couldn't run this at 1080p, I'd be concerned to say the least. During my 12 or so hours with Costume Quest 2, I didn't really have any bugs, freezes, or any issues with the game itself, but I did notice a weird delay between the menus. It just felt like it lagged a bit behind whatever input I was trying to enter, whether I wanted to go left or right through the menu and such. Costume Quest 2 is a great game overall, and I had plenty of fun with it. I've always loved Double Fine games, and I usually play them any chance I'd get when they come out. My personal favorite to date, and the obvious, being Psychonauts, and of course Tim's work on Grim Fandango as well. But now, it's time for my rating. I'd give Costume Quest 2... You know what? No, we need to address something first. Where is it, Tim? You think with an extra $3.3 million, Tim, we could get it, but no. So where is it, Tim? You hear the fans and the requests every day. You clearly must. You've seen the reviews, surely. What the fuck, Tim? What the fuck? Fucking Minecraft guy or whatever offered to fund it. Where is it, Tim? Why don't you announce anything, Tim? You asked for $400,000 and got like $3.3 million. So I don't know. Why not use perhaps like a quarter of that to fund it? Please, Tim, for fuck. Tim, please. Tim.